So Eric called out of work today too. So I was gonna tell him that we put him in the podcast and that we laughed at him because he thought that he was going to get paid or get some type of payment from suing us from the podcast that gets, on average 60 listens a week. But once again, Eric is a silly guy. And we are re-recording this podcast because if you are one of the 4 people that listened to it on YouTube on Saturday, we had an issue with Johnny's mic. Actually, it wasn't an issue. It was simply not on. And so we're going to do this again. And hopefully this will be up on Sunday night.
Eric put a curse on us. That's what happened.
That's probably what it is. He probably
He mentioned his name and a curse.
Yeah, and he copyrighted something and turned your mic off or something because you were saying his name too much. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast. I'm Tim, he's John, and we're here today to talk about our top 3 favorite non-e-ticket attractions around the parks. When we mention non-e-ticket attraction, we are speaking of things that are just, as most of you know, just not top-tier rides. Things that may at one time been an e-ticket attraction may also qualify for this list because as time has passed, things tend to drop and not be as, as a desirable attraction and things of that nature. So we're going to keep it within those parameters and just kind of go with what we felt. And you can leave comments later on and tell us if we're wrong or right or whatever you want to do. Really quick, just rediscussion on Star Wars real quick. When we messed the recording on Friday, we watched a video of someone getting the lightsabers made, and the whole kind of ceremony, if you will, that goes with that. And just want to say that, and I already know Johnny agrees with me, that awesome.
Yeah,
right?
Makes the decision to buy one extremely easy now.
And we were actually talking, I'm not making any promises, but we're actually talking about yesterday via text about possibly being down in Disney World one of the marathon weekends, hopefully at the same time with our wives. So if that's the case, I promise I will have this man and myself at some point or another vlog styling making a lightsaber. So with that said, keep an eye out for that sometime in, January.
A couple months away.
Yeah, a few months away. Anyway, top 3 non-e-ticket attractions. Let's get to it. Johnny, I'll let you start.
First one is the Kilimanjaro Safari in Animal Kingdom. Basically, well, it probably was an e-ticket attraction when it basically was the attraction of the park, I guess then. But since they brought Everest in and the role of the Pandora, it's probably dropped a little bit. So I just like the whole being able to see animals live with being you're right up and close personal with them. You get to see stuff you usually don't get to see. Maybe if you have zoos around you have some of the animals, but they have the more exotic animals. You get to see them living in their natural habitat, and it's just it's informative. Usually the guides are very informative on what everything is. I know within at least the last year, a couple babies have been born. I believe it was a giraffe and a hippo. Maybe, or not, yeah, I think it was a hippo. So the whole conservation and keeping the different species going that maybe would have a tougher time in the wild. So it's just an overall nice little ride. If you hit it in the morning or, at night, you get more of the animals will be out. with the cooler weather. But if you do it in the middle of the day, it could be a little hot. But it's a nice time eater. You get to take a little break from walking around and get the wind in your hair, driving around, and it's just
I think it's really good. Solid.
And then they've changed the it's just a straight you're on a safari. They didn't they changed the whole searching for poachers thing to kind of make it a little more appealing to everybody.
A little more family friendly.
You don't see the baby elephant getting captured and whatever.
They had that whole thing. Yeah. I think it was actually poached and dead, wasn't it?
I think one of them was either the mother or something. I don't know. So more family friendly. And then what else? Right when you get off the ride, you got the little gorilla trail. So you get to just get the whole animal thing is very. My family likes zoos, going to zoos. We're members of the zoo out here. There's a couple zoos that have different type of things. So we just overall, it's good for us and our family, and I think it's just a nice ride for everybody. Yeah, it's what you basically go to Animal Kingdom for.
Yeah, it's can't miss. I mean, unless you live in the Bronx or San Diego or anywhere else that has one of those really top-notch famous zoos, I would say this is probably as good as it's going to get. Mm-hmm. We have Roger Williams around here, and of course, it's a nice zoo and all, but it's not on the same level. Actually, if you remember, they still have it, I guess. I haven't been since it's kind of been redone, but they had one down in Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. You used to actually be able to take your car right through it.
Yeah, I've never been to that one.
But I heard now it's more done in the style of Kilimanjaro, where you get on
a ride.
It takes you. Because people were like, I mean, I did it when it was in its first state, and you would, like monkeys, we get like 5 or 6 monkeys on the car.
Your car?
Yeah. And then the zebra or the giraffe would put its head in the window, and you had a Cheeto, and probably why. Yeah,
I'm sure somebody got a dent in their car, so we'll make our own. They sued them or something. So
yeah, there was certainly a few problems with that. I know. I'm not sure of the specifics, but I know over the years there were a lot of things going on. People were doing stupid things and ruining it for everybody else. But anyway, so I'm gonna go with my number 3, and that is over in the Magic Kingdom, and a ride that I think is classic, and it has a connection to Walt because of the original animatronic that he helped create for the 1964 World's Fair, and that is Hall of Presidents over in Liberty Square. Just like the ride, well, not a ride, but I like the show in general. I like the what's the word I'm looking for? The reveal, kind of. They have kind of like a miniature reveal where you go in, you see the movie. I believe Morgan Freeman is commentating or narrating the movie, and who doesn't like Morgan Freeman narrating a movie? And then you get the whole thing with Lincoln, and then the curtain kind of opens, and then boom, you got all the presidents sitting there, and it's kind of like a sight to behold for the first time. I remember when I took my wife, she was not familiar with it, and when that happened, at first she was kind of like, this seems kind of lame, like, or whatever. And then the curtains opened, and she was like, "Whoa, that's pretty wild!" Like, I didn't realize it was going to be literally every president on stage, and I don't know what else to say about it other than as a history, kind of as a history nerd, it just appeals to me. And another one of those things where it's like, I'm guessing on top of my head, maybe like 15-20 minute show in the air conditioning.
At least, yeah. It's nice on a hot day. Yep.
And the hall is themed out nice. Mm-hmm. It's got the White House feel. Well, what I would imagine would be a White House feel.
Well, it's got the seal on the ground, so I guess that, yeah.
Fun fact. Only, I believe, it's either 2 or 3. I want to say it's only 2 places in the world where that seal is allowed to be displayed. And one is the White House and one is the Hall of Presidents in Orlando. I forget where I heard that. And any of you listening can fact check that, but I'm fairly positive that's correct. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a cool thing. And yeah, and just the Liberty, that area in general too. Like they had the Muppet Show out there too, so I'll kind of put that all in one category of just a nice little break from the day, if you're going, I'm going next week. He's going in August. You going that time of year. Those breaks can be nice, especially when you have little ones running amok and things like that. So, yeah, I think that's a rock solid attraction, and I like to do it every time I go.
You're never a wait, really. Yeah.
I would hate to be at Disney the day that had a wait.
Yeah, if that had a wait, it's a bad day.
Too. I don't know what it holds. I guess 500 people
at
or
least.
Something.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean that's the one thing about shows too is very rarely. Have you ever really can remember a time you had to wait to get in a show, other than being there like 10 minutes before a show was supposed to start? Like, did you ever have to wait? Then people went in for a show and they stopped you, then wait again to get to the next show?
I don't think that's no. We maybe just if we got towards the tail end of filling, and then you just wait the length of a show, but never like you're waiting in there, they fill up, and then you wait another one. It's like if you just kind of jump in there right before it starts. But
yeah, I don't know if I ever have. That's why I'm asking you. I don't think I ever have. I think I usually, if I get in line for it, I usually just get in.
Yeah.
From when I don't have any memories.
I feel like I kind of remember the last time I remember people sitting and waiting, but it was just probably, I don't know, just probably 5 minutes. You're sitting there, you think about being impatient and not wanting to wait, but it wasn't anything substantial.
Because you're not used to waiting for those, and so
you
do. Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 3 for sure. What do you got for your number 2?
My number 2 is an Animal Kingdom still, the Finding Nemo the musical show. Again, it's with a nice time. Well, I wouldn't say time waster, but a time it consumes. I want to say it's at least 20-25 minutes, maybe.
Well, it's got to be.
It's a nice adaptation of taking the movie and putting it in a stage show and telling the whole story in a nice way. You really don't miss anything from seeing the movie. Keeps your attention just with the way they do the puppets. Sometimes you don't even feel like you're seeing the person that's operating it and they're standing right there. You pay attention to the puppets. All the stuff they got flying around the room with the fish on the strings and all that, and then the bubbles, and it's just a nice overall show. It especially for little kids. Every little kid loves that loves finding. They love Nemo. Keeps their interest. The colors.
The sets are good, right?
It's and I'm not one for musicals, but I mean,
and you know who loves this show too? One of his favorites, Eric's out of it.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every time, as a matter of fact, there was a string of time where I'd never seen the show, and he'd always ask me, "Did you go to the Nemo show? You got to go to the Nemo show." Finally went to the Nemo show. Now I always go to the Nemo show.
Mm-hmm.
Eric was always adamant about the Nemo show. So funny. Anyway, just to move this along. So my number 2, I'm going to go with... I'm going to stay in the Magic Kingdom, and I'm going to go with Mickey's PhilharMagic. Same, kind of beat the dead horse here with the shows a little bit, I know, but same idea. Just when I think of... I guess when I think of Nani Ticket, my mind just starts to wander towards these types of things. Because I do like the shows, and that one's worth it. Could it use a little bit of a reboot? Probably, but I mean, it's not anything. The screen goes wide. It opens up wide. Once again, kind of a reveal. It's 3D. 3D's decent. Takes you through some Disney movies. Get to hear some popular songs. Features Donald Duck. That's one of my favorite things about it, if not my favorite thing about it. Although I'm sure Donald would be very upset at the idea that it features him, even though it's still named Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is probably what they were going for with that. Just smack dab in the middle of the park. So if you're traveling from, Frontierland over to Tomorrowland, it's got a good centralized location. Or if you're just kind of doing what I like to kind of call a Fantasyland loop, where you're maybe hitting Small World, Peter Pan.
And then always if Peter Pan's usually outrageously long, and then you kind of I can go. I can get something out of here.
If I don't have a fast Peter Pan, I don't. I don't
wait.
Even attempt it. Although I will say, when they opened the new queue, I went in it on purpose just to see it one time, and it is good.
Yeah, I've only seen the videos of it. I never wait.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I know somewhat of an unpopular opinion. If I'm with someone for the first time, I want to try to get on there, but you can usually get a fast pass somewhere in the week.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get one, just it's a one ride deal anyway. I can't think of any reason other than if you're filming a POV video, why you would need to go on there more than once a trip, especially when you go frequently. But anyway, Mickey's Philhar Magic, definitely I like the Donald animatronic at the end. Kind of gives it a cool little, makes you feel like you're kind of wrapped in the movie. And yeah, the kids like it. It's, once again, never wait. Animals can always get a prime seat. They always tell you to fill all the way in. By the time the show starts, you can kind of just move to the middle and usually I haven't had an experience where you can't. And yeah, you pop out right, when you're done, you're right back in the middle of Fantasyland. You can go about your day at the park, and it doesn't, like I said, it's never going to bring you, you're never going to go there for that reason, but, oh, there it is, and then, you
Yeah,
go.
might as well.
I guess what I'm looking at, the way I'm looking at it.
I haven't been on it in a long time, so I can't really, I probably,
I'm going to make lists when we go next time,
Yeah,
of these others' ideas, so we can.
I was probably high school or younger the last time I went, and
Oh boy,
it's just, I don't know. I think going the last couple times with kids, it's just kind of, it should be a one you jump into, but you got fast pass, you're going here, there, and you're just trying to let them, experience stuff. So it just was one of those rides I've skipped the last couple times.
yeah. Kids are always like, I always want. This is awful. She's always like, I want to do the carousel, Dad, and I don't have a problem bringing her on the carousel, but I haven't because. Like you said, I go like, oh, but we got a fast pass over there.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be there in 10 minutes, or we're going to eat right now. We had a reservation, and you just never and you always the carousel line's like there's always a line.
Yeah, and then it's a carousel. We have a carousel right here. Yeah,
Battleship Cove.
Yeah, so it's just
Might even be nicer than that one.
Yeah.
Maybe not scenery wise, but although it is nice down there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So number one, drum roll.
Number one for me is just a nice classic connected with Walt, the Walt Disney World Railroad. Again, mine are all time eaters. That's a nice. You don't have to do everything at once. You got the different stops throughout the park, so you can use it as transportation or you can use it as a ride. You get to go through the Splash Mountain, see the end scene. Basically with the water wheel boat there, and so you get a little bit of that. You get the backside of Thunder Mountain with the animatronics, and then you get the little Indian village, and just and you get to go around the back of near Space Mountain. It's just a nice another relaxing ride. If you want to try to get from the front of the park to the back. You just jump on and off. Again, with kids, my kids are very into trains. If they see a train, they want to ride the train. And now I think it'll still be shut down the next time we go, so you can actually go up to the train station and see the train up close and personal. You take pictures with it up in the train station. I know there's that one spot where sometimes they have to refill the train, I guess with I don't know how the steam train works with water or whatever it is, but there's that little spot sometimes they got to stop and refill it so you can get this experience that. So you get to learn a little bit on it, and it's just
Have you ever noticed it going through? Can you see it when if you're on Splash Mountain, can you see it coming through? Because I don't think I've ever.
Maybe I've never. You're always so focused on watching that. Maybe next time I'll have to see, because it would be more to your left behind you. So maybe, right? I'll have to look next time I go.
You mentioned that, and I knew that was a thing. It's not new to me, but I never really thought to look for it until you just said that. And I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah.
You must be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure if you can, unless it's like one of those two-way things where you can see and they can't see out to keep it dark.
They might try to keep it hidden to preserve the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good one though. I wonder how many people take the time to go on that when they go to Disney. I would imagine if it's a once in a lifetime kind of trip, you would.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember the last time I went on it.
I think, we used to go on it when we were little. Me and my brother were little, and you'd go on it. And then kind of I know we went in high school, and then I went on my honeymoon. We didn't go on it. And then once you have kids, then they spark the interest in a train.
Yeah,
you go on, and then you realize, well, maybe this should be more of a thing I do. You get a little time, just wait at one of the stations and jump on it.
Yeah, you probably get some good video and stuff on there too if you were taking pictures or anything like that.
You can go by people watching. It's just nice. Grab a beverage and.
Can you drink on it?
I don't know. Maybe I would assume at least a water.
Anyway, but, but I'm just saying.
I don't know. Yeah.
I guess so. Why not, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Grab a snack too.
It's kind of like an 19th century version of People Mover.
Yeah.
Steam. Except it gives you a little more of a. I wish the People Mover covered as much ground as that did. I think a lot of people do. But anyway, so my number one is the only ride. Well, I guess the train counts as a ride. So the second ride on the list, and that is Dinosaur over in Animal Kingdom. And the reason why I tried to specify earlier with what we were kind of considering an e-ticket attraction was because this one, much like Kilimanjaro Safaris, was, I think in its day, considered an e-ticket attraction, especially when it was linked to, well, technically it still is, but when it was specifically linked to the release of the movie Dinosaur, because it was previously known as Countdown to Extinction, for those who don't know that. And when Dinosaur, became a movie or got into production, Michael Eisner decided to, as Michael Eisner does, tie the attraction into the movie. So yeah, it was definitely an e-ticket, especially when really all you had was Kilimanjaro Safaris, Kali River, and this. Mm-hmm. So there's no doubt it was that park's e-ticket, but not so much anymore. And it's also attached to a land I absolutely can't stand. Anyone's listening to this channel or watching my videos has probably got that sense from me. But yeah, the ride's awesome. I love the ride vehicle. I wish they would do this. I wish they would use this ride vehicle on more rides. It just allows you to do a lot of different things. Mm. It makes you feel like you're outside in a rocky ground, rocky terrain, and you're not. But it just gives the simulation, and it's essentially a moving simulator, right?
Yeah, basically.
Kind of does all those functions, but it moves still. And the scenes are still good. Could it use a reboot, a little refurb, probably, but I mean, it's not. You don't go through it and like you would like Ellen's Energy Adventure and feel like all these dinosaurs are completely just really bad now. No, they still move all right. They still perform their functions. I don't hear any like air pumps going off in the background or anything like that.
No clicking or anything.
I think the dinosaur still scares the crap out of people a lot of times at the end. I think it's kind of intense. Some people find it kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's probably scarier than the Haunted Mansion, I would say.
Yeah. It's always nice to, if you go going on it with somebody who's never been on it, it's like you wait for that.
Yeah.
Wait for that spot, and then you get to see the picture at the end. So it's.
And I've heard people complain about the dark spots in the ride, but I think that kind of lends to, it's almost like a build-up. Because you're always, you're in there, I've been in so many times now, I don't get this so much anymore, but you're in there and you think to yourself, like, when is this, something's going to jump out at me, or we're going to run into something, this isn't going to stay dark forever. Yeah. So it kind of gives you a tense feeling. Plus, I mean, your lights went out, whatever, and you're running to the woods, with the sounds and everything, it does a trick. So I think it's pretty, for an early 2000s or late 1990s, I should say, attraction. Mm-hmm. Does a good job. It still holds up a little bit. I know a lot of people are going to say that Indiana Jones is probably better, and it was built in the early 90s, but instead of comparing one to the other, I think I would just say that, once again, the ride vehicle seems to be holding true, and that I'm surprised they haven't used that ride vehicle more rides.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Yep. So, anyway, I'm going to throw out a quick honorable mention. Off the cusp here, and I'm going to say Living with the Land. We talked about it last show. Mm-hmm. Just an easy ride to get on. Once again, I wish they would fill the spaces in, before those screens that you see before you go into the greenhouses. But with that said, cool ride. First few show scenes are still good. True essence of Epcot. And the greenhouse is cool for some weird reason or another.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you can go upstairs, or you can go up to one of the restaurant upstairs, or and eat the food that you saw.
That's true too. And I love seasons.
Yes, yeah, that's a good one.
It's just a good.
And we usually
quick service, it's good.
And we always usually do the garden grill.
Yeah.
I know we've done that the last couple times, and it's.
I almost always find if we sleep in a little bit, which we do sometimes, and I'm kind of like in the middle of whether or not I had breakfast or lunch, I'll always bang that right over to the land and usually get something.
It's a nice little. Yeah, the land is just generally.
You can grab
nice.
a beer over there too, so that's good. It's good. It's good. Did you have one you want to throw in there? Or?
I could throw Star Tours.
Yeah. Another good one.
Now with Galaxy's Edge opening, it's very appropriate.
Totally not e-ticket.
Yeah, not anymore. And I guess it would be e-ticket over there. There's nothing.
I guess at one time it had to be e-ticket. Like
they might consider it e-ticket now with nothing being there at the moment, really. But I don't consider
the park for sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's e-ticket anymore. The simulator's kind of older, but it's still a good overall. You still feel like you're flying in space, and you get a little bit of, you get a little bit of everything from the movies. You get just the overall. You get the the C-3PO animatronic is really cool.
Yep.
The queue's good. You get the animatronics in there, checking the bags. You get a little bit of, if you sit there and listen to them, you might get a little chuckle or a laugh, and it's just a way to keep you entertained while you're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just
the queue is like out of this world. It's one of the better queues in.
Yeah.
In all the parks. Even if you look at like Pandora. Oh, you haven't been on Flight of Passage yet, but I can tell you that queue's themed to it's incredible. But I still think this holds up. They did a good job. You get the ride vehicle in there. The old airport signs kind of give it the feel. You get the C-3PO and or is he still in there? Yeah, and R2-D2. And
you get the one that's the little droid that's scanning the bags and kind of He just
definitely did a good job with that.
He just keeps you entertained.
And the outside of the attraction's cool too.
Yeah.
There's really I almost hate to see that one go. If it does go.
If it does, you still got to sell the general Star Wars merchandise somewhere. So I don't know if they'll change the ride, but keep the gift shop because people are still gonna buy stuff from the old movies. So I don't know.
Like, what would you do? I think we talked about this before, but what would you do? With that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where would you go theming wise? Because at some point now that's one of there's not really a land over there.
No, it's just they just put it there.
Yeah.
I don't know, because now you're gonna have you're gonna have Launch Bay and Galaxy's Edge, something. I would assume Launch Bay is gonna go, but something.
I'm assuming that's Gonzo. But
yeah, something's gotta go. But
then again, I don't know.
If the popularity of Galaxy's Edge and people still want the Star Wars experience, you could still go there. So for the foreseeable future, it's still gonna be there. I think
Hollywood Studios really didn't have lands.
No.
They do. Now they have a Toy Story land. They're about to have Galaxy's Edge is a Star Wars land.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're kind of getting landy. So I think that's what they're gonna do. It was kind of a mess. Now that you're talking about it, I'm kind of going through my mind. You go to one side of the park and there's the launch bay, and then you walk towards more towards Star Tours on the other side, and there's Path of the Jedi, which is just basically a highlight show, but I kind of like it. But it's not much to it. And then Star Tours. Then they get the Star Wars show in the middle of the park and the First Order March. It's like, I don't know, it just didn't really know how to. It just threw in whatever it could, whatever it thought it was gonna.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a Frozen sing along.
Yeah, it's very.
The movie ride was. It was a mishmash of.
Yeah.
I love that park though. I don't know why.
Yeah, there was always something about it. Since they got rid of the backlot tour, it's kind of that was always my favorite thing there, but.
It's gonna be my favorite park again soon, probably.
Yes.
If that lands anywhere as good as what everyone's saying it is.
If I can hold, I'm gonna be holding the lightsaber. That'll be my
I
favorite
can't
land.
wait. It was so weird. I kind of like put myself in this place where I was like, I mean, Galaxy's Edge is gonna be cool and all, but I'll get to it when I get to it. Now I'm like, this part of me just wants to get on a plane for a weekend.
Yeah, I was
Like,
always
seriously thinking about-
like, okay, we're going this, we're gonna go a little before it, but then we're gonna go in like when we go in January. Okay, if I can get to it, I'll get to it. But I mean, like I've waited this long for it, I can wait a little longer. But if I'm gonna be right there, I'm jumping on the bus and going over there.
If
now.
we end up going the same weekend as you guys, we're going to wait and get in that land.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think we're gonna have to wait. I think that they're gonna do it right, and I think we're gonna be.
Yeah, because that'll be a nice little space between the end of August to January. It'll be a little. They can hopefully figure it out.
What I love about the lightsaber thing is that I think they priced a lot of people. I think they priced a lot of people out. So if we're willing to do it, we're probably not gonna have to wait too long on that either. I mean, from what I saw, the Diz did coverage, and I saw Ryan. The one we were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Rhino just paid or whatever and got that thing to come back. So even if it's 2 or 3 hours and you get a little thing to come back, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Come back during your appointment and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to stand in a standing queue. So
yeah, it seems like there was a decent amount of people, and I'm sure they have more than one showroom. I'm sure it's
also,
multiple.
Here's something to think about, and put before we wrap up, and to put kind of a silver lining on the fact that we're not going to get to see this right away. Good, solid chance Rise of the Resistance is open by the time we get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would hope. Yeah, I said later this year, so hopefully
that would be worth it.
Yeah,
that'd be better actually, because I originally had my trip booked for September, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see the land. Then I pushed it back because of saved a ton of money on annual pass holder discounts. So I said, the heck with it. And then I kind of regretted it for a minute, and then I thought about that, and I was like, well, if I can see Rise of the Resistance,
yeah, you get the extra.
That's got to be a bonus for sure, and that looks like it's going to be amazing. So
yeah, that's that one. It doesn't look like anything anybody's ever experienced or thought of.
It's like a 28-minute duration or something between the pre-show and
yeah, and then, you go from the one big group and it breaks you down into thing. And it just seems.
I can't.
That one seems crazy.
Yeah, I was telling my wife before we started this podcast. She's laughing at me. I'm sorry, I just can't wait.
Yeah,
it's one of the few things in a while that's come out in a theme park, and I love theme parks. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, podcast dedicated to one, but yeah, can't wait for that. Anyway, because it's a re-record, we got other things to do. We're gonna wrap up. So once again, I'm Tim, Johnny. Hit me up on Twitter, Quick This Takes. Email me, backsideofwater@icloud.com. Quick This Takes on Instagram. And also, feel free, I know you guys never do, but feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below of any questions you have, and we'll answer on the next show. And we'll see you next week.